reaction to the Federal Appeals Court ruling this morning that basically invalidates the healthcare subsidies for people in states that haven't set up the exchanges?
Well, I know that there will be a statement coming from the Department of Justice on this. They obviously are representing the position of the United States government and the administration before the D.C. Circuit. So I'd refer you to that statement. I do have a couple of thoughts, though, you won't be surprised to hear. The first is it's important for people all across the country to understand that this ruling does not have any practical impact on their ability to continue to receive tax credits right now. Right now, there are millions of Americans all across the country who are receiving tax credits from the federal government as a result of the Affordable Care Act that is making health care more affordable for them. And while this ruling is interesting to legal theorists, it has no practical impact on their tax credits right now. The second is there are 4 different cases making this point that are working their way through the federal court system. 2 of them have been dismissed at the district court level. 2 of them are awaiting their initial rulings. This, of course, is the appeal of one of those cases. So there is decidedly mixed legal opinion about this. But for those who are keeping score, we're still ahead 2-1 here. What I do anticipate that the Department of Justice will do is they will ask for a ruling from the full D.C. Circuit. As you know, this was a decision that was issued just by 3 members of the D.C. Circuit, 2 of whom ruled against the federal government and 1 agreed with the government's position. Now, it's important that there are for people to also understand that some of those district courts that have thrown out this case have been decided by judges who use some pretty strong rhetoric in doing so. There was a judge in this case at the district level who said there is simply no evidence in the statute itself or in the legislative history of any intent by Congress to support the claims that are made by the plaintiff. In another case that was making the same legal argument, a judge wrote that the theory propounded by the plaintiffs was, quote, not a viable theory. The last thing that's important, and this is, there's a lot of high-minded case law that's applied here. There's also an element of common sense that should be applied as well, which is that you don't need a fancy legal degree to understand that Congress intended for every eligible American to have access to tax credits that would lower their health care costs, regardless of whether it was state officials or federal officials who are running the marketplace. I think that is a pretty clear intent of the congressional law. This will work its way through the legal process, and we are confident in the legal case that the Department of Justice will be making.